So hello, welcome everybody. Today is the 7th of May. I hope everybody's doing okay. Obviously the answer to that is no, they're not. This virus has caused absolute mayhem throughout the world. We're living in a period which is like a science fiction film. It's terrible. Anyway, with all this time to kill, I thought it was time to do another video. So welcome to another video with Aero Grey, and I am going to try to do more of these. But I've had a lot of time on my hands, like so many other people. I have been doing some work. I've been doing a lot of online training, so hello to you guys and girls that have been working with me over the past few weeks. And I decided to look at aviation English as a totally isolated subject. Now, forgive me if I start getting angry, but I probably will, and you'll see why. 2003, in March 2003, ICAO announced to all the member states, look, everybody's got to have a minimum level 4, for air crew and air traffic controllers to maintain safety on the ground and in the air. So that's 5 years. Now you would think that that's enough time to get everybody up to that particular level 4 or above, but obviously not, because in 2008 some member countries were saying, oh, we can't do it in time. So they gave an extension till 2011. That's another 3 years. Come on, 5 years. I could learn bloody Chinese. I could speak Mandarin in 5 years. So please don't tell me, no, we can't do it. Not enough time. There is. There's plenty of time. My personal view. What is the reason for this problem? Number one, management. Not enough urgency placed on the importance of this, and to my mind it's ICAO as well. It's a classic case of the tail wagging the dog. You know, we tell you to do things and you can't do it, so well, all right then, if you can't do it I'll give you longer. No, you do it or you're out. That should be, people die when you make mistakes. People can die, and they have died. Think of Tenerife, still the worst aviation accident in history, caused by not just the weather, not just by a small airport working over capacity, but by poor phraseology, poor English. Anyway, look, I'm going to give you a scenario. I was thinking about this. Imagine that you and your first officer, or your first officer and your captain, you've flown from country A to country B. I'm not going to name countries, it wouldn't be fair. And you were invited to a party. There's a party in a big house, and you were told, don't worry, people there do speak English, come to the party. So you do. You go to the party, you can't drink much because tomorrow afternoon you're flying back home. But when you get to the party, you instantly realise that there's groups over there that are speaking French, there's groups over there speaking Spanish, there's groups over there speaking Mandarin, presumably, there's groups over there speaking Russian. You make an effort to say hello to some people, but you basically get, hi, how are you, nice to meet you. And we're now going to continue our conversation in Russian. So there's not much conversation to be had. You look at each other after an hour and you think, come on, let's go. This isn't much fun. As you're leaving, you hear some excited voices outside. And a lot of people start leaving the room to go outside, and you're wondering why. Hey, what's going on? What's happening? But you decide not to follow them. Yeah? But you have just lost situational awareness. In fact, through that whole evening, you've had zero situational awareness. So tomorrow comes, you're flying back home, You're on board, you're on the flight deck, the systems are up and you're listening to the radio and all you can hear is Spanish. Or you hear a lot of Spanish. Or you hear an awful lot of French. Or you hear an awful lot of Russian. Again, situational awareness. You haven't got it at the time when you really need it. I'm going to give you some examples here. Some of them you're probably familiar with. Others maybe you're not. Let's start with ATR 72-500 and a Boeing 737-900 in Medan, Indonesia, 2017, August the 3rd. A wing-to-wing collision. One of the reasons was, according to the investigation, that the departure clearance was delivered at a rate of speech faster than the recommendations of ICAO, according to the the Manual of Radio Telephony, document number 9432. There's one to remember, if you can get a copy of 9432. Freely available on the internet, I understand. If you want one, I'll send you one. Have a look at it. How many words per minute is the prescribed rate? Yes, 100. I'm speaking now at a faster rate than 100 words per minute. But I think you can understand me. Let's give you another one. Oh, Boeing 737-500, Heathrow Airport. Over Heathrow Airport. So we're in the air. 2007, 7th of June. The aircraft had a problem. The crew had a problem controlling the aircraft, but also they had a problem communicating adequately with air traffic control due to insufficient language proficiency. Let's give you another one. An accident, October 2001, Cessna Citation and an MD-87. On the runway at Linate Airport, Milan, Italy. 114 people dead. There were many factors involved in this particular accident, but investigators also found, and I quote, that the aviation terms and phrases widely used by the controllers and pilots did not conform to ICAO recommended practices. Communication also alternated between English and Italian. Let's give you another one. Ibiza, Spain, 2012. What have we got here? A Fokker F-27. Is it an F-27? No, I don't think it is. Doesn't matter. Situational awareness of the crew was diminished by communications with the conflicting aircraft because the communications were being conducted in Spanish rather than English. Oh, and a safety recommendation was given on resolving the persistent problem of language issues, noting that a similar recommendation had been made 11 years earlier. So this sounds to me like the airport in Ibiza, they had highlighted the problem with language using Spanish. They'd made a recommendation 11 years prior and nobody was taking any bloody notice. They were still speaking in Spanish. Paris Charles de Gaulle, France, 2000, 25th of May. A Shorts SD330 waiting to take off at Paris Charles de Gaulle. Good, normal visibility at night. And there was a problem with the conflict of another aircraft taking off. The Shorts began to line up, unaware that an MD-83 had just been cleared in French. Paris Charles de Gaulle again, 2014, 25th of November. A319 and an A320. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I think this was a near miss. It was a near miss. The investigation concluded that the use of inappropriate phraseology by the tower controller when issuing an instructions to the A319 crew had led to a breach of the intended clearance limit. Oh dear. It was established that at the time of the conflict, runway 08 right was in use for landings, runway 08 left for takeoffs. Communication between ATC and both the aircraft involved were carried out in the English language, but at the same time, communication between the controller and some other aircraft were being carried out in French. There's no excuse for this. Alicante, 2018, a Boeing 737-800, operated by a non-Spanish speaking crew, which, let's face it, is probably most of the world, if you include the Chinese population in that. Not many of them speak Spanish, I wouldn't have thought. They were given clearance for takeoff at Alicante by a supervised air traffic controller student who had previously cleared 2 vehicles to do a runway inspection, and he'd given those the inspection clearance in Spanish. Oh, there are more. Cordoba, Spain, 2014. All air traffic controller communications with the 737 were conducted in English, but those with the A320, oh, it was another near miss. Those with the A320 were conducting a mixture of Spanish and English. For crying out loud, boys and girls. Look, I've got a solution for this. At the moment, I believe, most air traffic controllers and most pilots flying internationally have got at least ICAO level 4. Yeah? At least. My proposition. And this will save the industry millions of dollars. Pounds, euros, rubles, shekels, whatever you like. When you leave home and you arrive at your office or you arrive at work, you use English. That's it. You can use your L1, your native language, during your lunch break, if you have one. But you don't stop using English until you finish work. 2 things are going to happen. Number 1, your language attrition. In my opinion, the language attrition, which between tests, you've got your test here, what's that, 4 years? The period between the tests, your language dips because you're not using it. But if you use it all the time, language attrition, I think, will be eliminated. And in fact, many pilots and controllers will probably be able to go from level 4 to level 5 because your level of English, I think, will actually improve substantially. That's going to save the industry a lot of money because you're not going to use people like me. You won't need us. For testing, yes, but for recurrent training, no, because you're doing it yourselves. Benefit number 1. Benefit number 2, less collisions on the ground. Excuse me. Very expensive for... Sorry, phone. Very expensive for everybody. Insurance premiums for airports. And most importantly, safety for passengers. You know, what kind of price are you going to put on safety before we start actually doing something about this? It's just been words. You know, we're going to do this, we're going to improve. Oh, improvements are being made. No, they're not. They're not being made. The improvements are made when you don't read stories like this. When there are no more stories like this, the improvements have been made. But until then, no, you're playing at it. It's lip service. It's got to stop. Solution. You get proper, qualified professionals to conduct your English training. Sorry about all the TEFL tourists. It's like me going to teach medical English. Forget it. I'm not qualified to do it. I can't do medical English. It's the same with aviation. There's too many teachers involved that are not qualified for it. We know that, ICAO know that, but nobody's doing anything about it. And that's basically it. So you teach yourselves by practicing, get the professionals in, like myself, to get your levels up. Institute maybe to implement some programs for you that you can use on your own, self-study. Some online training, periodical like this. It works extremely well. And that's it. Anyway, there you go. So please come on, industry, start doing something and stop giving people all this, I was going to say lies. They're not lies. They're false promises. Yeah, we're going to do this, we're doing this. No, you're not. No, you're not. I still have many pilots that I work with now from different parts of the world, primarily European, but non-English speaking. That is not their number one language. And I hear horror stories practically every other week. Oh, Gray, I heard this. Oh, fly south. Oh, sorry, speed south. Speed south in America. Speed south. Oh, Christ almighty, please. Anyway, that's it. My blood pressure's increasing, so I'm off. Hit the like button, subscribe, tell all your friends about these, and I'm going to ask you to do something now. Can you give ask some questions on my site? Say, Gray, can you talk about this? Or can you give us some advice about that? Or whatever. Let's make this interactive. I'm not here to preach to everybody. I'm here to help. So give me some feedback. Tell me what you need help with. Or if you just want to let off some steam. It's fine. Anyway, I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Be good. Fly safe. And speak English. Please. See you then. Bye.